Africa's borders, drawn by European powers in the late 19th century, were imposed without the consent of its people. These arbitrary lines ignored the continent's rich tapestry of tribes, languages, and kingdoms. Colonial rulers redrew the map to suit their interests, often forcing rival groups together or splitting communities apart. This disregard for indigenous systems laid the groundwork for conflicts that persist today. In the aftermath of colonial rule, African nations have struggled to forge identities within these imposed borders. These boundaries hinder trade, movement, and cultural exchange that once thrived. The legacy of colonialism continues to shape Africa's political landscape. To understand Africa's challenges, we must first understand the borders that define it. The Berlin Conference of 1884–85 marked the formal division of Africa by European powers. No African leaders were present as their lands were carved up for European gain. The new borders ignored existing political and social landscapes, creating artificial countries. Straight lines cut through ethnic territories, separating families and forcing disparate groups together. The primary motivation was economic, control of Africa's resources and new markets. This division maximized resource extraction and ensured European dominance. The colonial mindset of exploitation left a lasting impact, fueling conflict and dependency. Africa's borders today are a direct result of these decisions. Colonial borders had profound human consequences, dividing families and communities overnight. Shared languages and traditions were disrupted, creating lasting tensions. Competing ethnic groups were forced into new nation-states, sparking internal conflicts. Traditional governance was replaced by foreign systems, deepening divisions. Colonial powers prioritized control and resource extraction over unity. Today, families remain separated, and cross-border tensions persist. These are not ancient rivalries, but the result of colonial-era decisions. The legacy of artificial borders continues to shape millions of lives. Many African conflicts are rooted in colonial borders, not just tribal differences. The Rwandan genocide and disputes in the Horn of Africa show how imposed borders fuel unrest. Colonial favoritism and division sowed discord that exploded into violence. Artificial borders created economically fragile nations, lacking natural resources or trade routes. This fragility makes them more vulnerable to internal strife and external manipulation. Colonial borders were designed to facilitate resource extraction for European benefit. Mineral-rich regions and trade routes were prioritized, often at the expense of local communities. This legacy continues. Many African countries remain dependent on exporting raw materials. Colonial infrastructure was built for extraction, not to connect African communities. The focus on resources stifled economic diversity and led to environmental and social challenges. These borders still limit collaboration and trade, perpetuating dependency. Despite these challenges, a movement toward African unity and self-determination is growing. Initiatives like the African Continental Free Trade Area aim to enhance intra-African trade and collaboration. The African Union and regional organizations are working for peace and conflict resolution. By focusing on shared interests, African nations are overcoming colonial divisions. The journey toward unity shows the resilience of the African people. Africa's future lies in transcending artificial borders and embracing its diversity.